Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and I'm just going to do a little whip with you. So this is me whipping my cow. Sounds painful, but yeah, due to being a bit under the weather, I got a tad behind, so this is going to help me catch up. So here it is. This is my crochet along, and I'm doing this part here. So I don't mind doing this now, because by the time this goes up, I'll be ready to put this on. So it's not like spoiler alert or anything along those lines. So I'm just doing a moss stitch on this section. So we had various sections, and it's blooming heavy now. So I'm and I don't have a genie, because I made the mistake in the original kind of day that I swatched this yarn of pulling it from the center. So and then when I undid that, it was all round the outside, and I put that on the genie, and then I reached the part where it was at the center pull. So yeah, so I can't really oh, not really seeing me much, are you? If I go, why is that? Usually you do. Just bear with me a sec. It might be, that might be better. You're going to see less of my face, but more of my work. So there we go. Probably because every now and then my chair just sinks very, very low, and it's a bit annoying really, but I pull it up, and then over time it just goes lower and lower and lower until I'm more or less sitting on the floor and don't realise it. A pair of glasses. Yeah, I'm spoilt for choice at the moment. So I got a message on my channel earlier saying, did I miss you finding your red glasses? See, I bought these a long time ago. I bought 2 pairs from the internet so that I would never, because I only had 1 pair that were any good for me, because I only really need them for the computer or reading really, and this 1 pair did both pretty well, and the rest were just a waste of money for me. And because I didn't really need them, to be honest, and I shouldn't have bought them. And the reading glasses that were so heavy, they just fell off my nose the minute I put them on, and it drives me to distraction no matter what you do. And I've been in the shop, and they've tightened them up so many times, but they still just, the minute I put them on, they slide straight down. So I never wear those. And so, you know, I ordered these 2. I had my prescription, so I ordered 2 pairs from Glasses Direct, who are well cheap, and they arrived, and I had this pair and a pair that I usually try to keep in my handbag, so that if you're eating out, I can actually see menus in dimly lit rooms, because that's the trouble. If there's lots of light, I don't actually need them, but when it's dim, I really, really do. And I think that's because years ago I had my eyes lasered, and after that I could only see in really good light. If it was poor light, I needed glasses. So I ordered 2 pairs, and this red pair were my favourites out of them, and I lost them straight away, more or less. And I figured out now why they were where they were. It was only last week, I think, that I was tidying parts of the bedroom that don't get touched very much, like inside the wardrobe bottom, you know. So I figured, you know, I was looking for a bag, like a backpack bag, and I came across my boots. Well, obviously it's summer, so you don't wear boots, especially not big sort of tall boots. And I don't know why, but I just put my hand inside, and inside was the glasses case, inside a boot. Now this is why I can never find anything, because my safe places leave a lot to be desired. Now a reason I think they were there was when Gary and I went on that cruise for Christmas. I must have taken those boots to wear around the Christmas markets, and to save space in the case, I put the glasses that I took with me, which must have been those ones, inside the boot. Then just unpacked, put them away, And obviously, because they are like snazzy ones, I don't wear them that often. So I just put them in the wardrobe and didn't realise I was putting the glasses in the wardrobe along with them. Yeah, so I must note to self, whenever I come back from holiday, check inside everything for places that you've hidden stuff, because, yeah, good part of their life, they were just buried somewhere, you know, and I kept thinking I'm going to need new prescriptions soon. I won't have got anywhere out of them. Just silly me. Anyway, I found them. That's all that matters. But yeah, this person who wrote me the comments said, did I miss the part where you found them? You probably did. I did mention it once, I think. Excuse me. So I'm going to be doing this until I kind of feel like it's a big enough section. But the thing that might interrupt me, guys, is the postman, because I have orders being collected today from my shop, which, if you've not found it already, is hobbyrocks.co.uk, and do ship worldwide. It's weight based, so the smaller the order, the smaller the shipping. And most of the orders that are being collected today are overseas orders. Yeah, I have to listen out for the postman, and if that happens, then if it's fairly soon, which I doubt, I will pause it. But if it's more or less at the end, I might not. I might just end. So if I end this abruptly, you'll know why. It's because the postie is here. But as I say, if it's early enough, I will come back to it. Even if it's just to say goodbye, I'll try my best to come back. But he doesn't normally get here until after 11 o'clock. So I think we're fine, because it is, well, now it's 10:22. Took me a little while to get my stuff together, but you know, as I say, doesn't normally get here till well after, really. So it's becoming now quite a mission to turn this blanket. It was tiny a little while ago. It's amazing how crochet grows, isn't it? Although, having said that, this is a small stitch. The last section we did was quite not wholly, but it grew quicker. I wanted a kind of a diamondy type shape. Anyway, I've been having fun doing this. Quite like it. So this is my crochet picnic blanket. It's made of cotton, this one. You can make it obviously in any that you want. Still time to join the cowl. There's a few up already, but yeah, a lot of people said to me at the beginning, I'm going to save this and do it when they're all up, because they don't like kind of waiting for one. And I get that. But yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I must admit, I haven't done a crochet along for a very long time. I think I did a few, like little blanket ones. But yeah, this one is kind of huge project. There's various sizes that you can make for a couple of people right up to a family. So I think there's 3 altogether in the description box. But you know, I'm a bit kind of loose with my teaching. How do I mean? I kind of come from the school of thought that sometimes in a project we'll gain a stitch or we'll lose one, and that is not the end of the world. If it still looks fine, it's not the end of the world, and we can get around it. Or if I'm doing a stitch that has a different multiple than the one that the actual multiple of my blanket, we'll put 2 stitches at the end. You know, the 2 ends do not meet unless you fold it, and that's never going to happen. Well, it is, but you don't sit on it that way, and it doesn't matter anyway. It's a tiny little stitch. So yeah, I kind of say that along the way, and I know there are people out there very got to keep your stitch count got to keep it, but I'm not really like that. Unless it's a pattern that absolutely would look wrong if you didn't have the right stitch count. Even when you're doing a hat, you know, if you, once you've finished all your multiples, you know, your increases, if you're meant to have 60 stitches and you've got 59, well, the world's not going to end, is it? And most hats have not got really that much of an intricate pattern. And if they do, make one up, make a stitch. Or if you've got one too many, you can easily do one together and get rid of that. You don't have to frog. That's my philosophy. If it doesn't need frogging, we'll get around it. Because me and frogging, they don't really see eye to eye. I'm not a good frogger. Especially if it's for me, you know. If it's for me, the home, or whatever, I'm not a frogger. And if it's for family, it will look good, you know, whatever. It will look nice. So, yeah, if we can get around it, then we'll get around it. When I've done things in the past for myself, say for instance I'm doing a granny stitch and one of my grannies has got 2 instead of 3, I've been known to insert one in a cunning way rather than frog it all back. I think, I know I can get a stitch in there. And you just got to be creative about it. No one ever sees it if you're clever. So I'm using a variegated yarn this time, which I've not used on my cowl up to this point. I know some of you have, because you've messaged me about it, and sent me pictures of some variegated in your cowl. But this is the first time I've done it, and I've done it because I love this yarn so much. I just recently did a swatch video for this yarn. It was the Colour Burst swatch, and this was the one that I really liked the most, and I wanted to use it. And as I'd swatched it, I had a ball that had started on, and so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put it in the cowl, because I'm doing a moss stitch which does look good in different colours and different hues of the yarn. So I thought, well, you know, that's what I'll put it in. But sometimes when I use yarn for a swatch, and I know I'm not going to really use that yarn, then I kind of wind it up and put it in people's orders. Mostly people who are subscribers, and I know them, you know, but I do pop them in and give them away, because I can't really see myself using all of these extra balls of yarn that I swatch up. So that's what happens to a lot of the yarn that I swatch up, because I can't keep it all. And as many of my subbies said to me, I don't mind a ball that's been kind of swatched up and wound back up again. No, I don't mind that at all. So that's what I did with the chromatic, the Stylecraft chromatic. I had a lot of balls of that, and it's got wool in it, so I knew I wouldn't use it. So I pulled the, but you know, wound them all back up again and popped them in orders. So yeah, I do that quite often. And things I get from magazines as well that you know, are pretty nice gifts, I just pop them in. And as well as sometimes bits of yarn, like not used bits, but balls of yarn that are hanging around, or from my this is too heavy, from my yarn quests and things like that. So yeah, there's always little ways of disposing of it without giving it to charity or anything. Just pop it in. And not to mention, I need to make some stitch markers. I was tossing up the idea of either doing this whip along or making some stitch markers, but I really need to get this blanket done. So this one, otherwise I'd be sitting at the living room table waiting for the postman, making stitch markers. And I've been working on, I'm doing a year of granny squares. I think I've done about 14 so far, something like that. And I've got 4 on the go at the minute that I kind of had a bit of a spur of action. But a couple of them, maybe, hang on, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5? So yeah, there are 2 of them that wouldn't appear till later on in the year because of the nature of them. But I kind of wanted to do them. And not all of my year of granny squares now have a project. Since I was ill, I just didn't have the time, and it was hard for me to actually crochet. But quite a few do. And the ones I'm talking about will. Some of the projects that I was making with those year of granny squares have not even been finished yet, so those I'm working on as well. And a couple of them are quite near, so I just need to get them done. And then I might do little tutorials about the bigger ones, as well as the square that I've done, just incorporate it and do it as a tutorial, standalone. So yeah, been very busy, and it's my 6th year podiversary, so I did a little giveaway for that. But yeah, I didn't know, I just suddenly got a message, like an email saying congratulations, and then when I went onto YouTube, it was there on my wall. It was like 6-year podiversary. So wow, okie dokie. I didn't even realise. I kind of knew that my very first, I didn't make a video for a while. I made the channel, and I was still plucking up the courage to start making videos. And so I didn't make one straight away. But the first ones I did were looking down at the surface of my bed. And I didn't even turn the camera around for a little while. And then I watched a fellow YouTuber who was also fairly new, and they made a video saying, well, I guess it's about time I turned this camera around and said hello to you guys. And I thought, she's right, isn't she? It's about time I did that too. So yeah, funny thing is that YouTuber is no longer here and no longer part of YouTube, and not many people know why, but I do. But they're not here anymore. And they did actually, funnily enough, cause quite a lot of trouble between YouTubers and subscribers before the time was up. Got caught out doing a lot of bad stuff, bullying, but the icing on the cake for YouTube was that they purchased their subscribers. They could tell because of the growth being outrageous at the time, and they'd purchased their subscribers and got booted off, as well as got accused of bullying one too many times. So pretty. I like it. I like this yarn a lot. In fact, I love it. It's really nice. This is the James C. Brett Cotton Waves. And yesterday, as I said, I did this swatch along because I thought I'd do something different for a change, and turned it into a premiere. So at the same time as I was doing it, I was commenting with you guys. So yeah, I hadn't done one of those for a long time. I did one years and years ago with crochet hooks, but I figured, yeah, we'll do a premiere and I'll join you for a chinwag. And so that was cool. I enjoyed it. different, but there was a little bit of a problem with it because at first people were able to join the chat and then they couldn't, and they could only join the chat if they went out and come back in again, and that was a bit strange. So not everybody made it into the chat, unfortunately, which was YouTube's fault, but it was still fun. Might do it again one day. It seemed to be a bit of a, I'd say it wasn't like a hit, but you know what I mean. It was popular at the time, and the yarn certainly is gorgeous. I really, really cannot sing its praises enough. It's very soft. And someone said, would you make something for a baby? And I would. It is really soft. It is soft enough for that. Whew, quite warm in here. It's weird outside today. We've got for the last few days it's been very windy, like a bit blustery. It's not so bad as yesterday, because yesterday my cat wouldn't go out. It was that windy. I think she feels like she'll fly off, like the Wizard of Oz, you know, like Dorothy, just end up over the rainbow or something. But she just wouldn't set foot outside. But today she was waiting at the door, so even though it's still blustery, it's not as bad. Wow, this chair's uncomfortable. One of these days I will have a chair that is so comfortable, but not today. I mean, the one I had before was awful, and I had to get another one. So I think it was it last Christmas Gary bought me this chair, or the year before. It is nicer than that one, but not the most comfy. My son Paul has one similar, but his is comfortable. So it's like a bucket chair that swivels. His one rocks, mine doesn't, just swivels, which is probably a good thing, because if I was sitting here rocking, I think I'd be making a few people, oh, please don't do that. I used to make the odd video out on my decking with my egg chair that kind of moves about, and a couple of people said, you're making me feel a bit sick. So I had to try and keep it still. Never mind. Don't worry, I've got a drink of water here. I get a bit dry. It's all the gabbing, that's what does it. Wow, this is so pretty. I love the way these colours just kind of, they're beautiful. So it was interesting last night. Claptrap said, would you call that variegated? And I thought, why would you not? And then I suddenly realised, I suppose it could be called self-striping, couldn't it? Because it is a longer kind of colour change. If I hold it up, you'll see you do get stripes of colour. Obviously not as big as it looks, because it's only moss stitch. But yeah, I guess you could say this is self-striping. Never really occurred to me that variegated was not self-striping. Maybe it is. Perhaps now we're just overthinking things. Wow, I'm so hot. I really wish I'd put my air conditioning on. It's not in here, but it wafts. It wafts in here. But it's not wafting at the minute. It's wafting outside. Can hear the wind a little bit. So what are you guys making at the moment? Anything wonderful? Have you been selling your crochet? If so, what do you sell? Do you go to craft fairs and show your wares? Do you do it online? What, if you do, what are your best sellers? Because I've never done that. You know, the only time I ever sold my crochet was once I was asked to make a minion outfit. And I thought, oh, you know what? I can do this and put them on eBay. And it's so quick to make this little minion outfit that as soon as someone buys one, I can just make it. So that's what I did. And I sold about 3 or 4, and then I didn't bother putting them back on after that, because the Minion movie was getting older, you know. So That's the only thing. My goodness, I am melting. Need a bit of a tissue. Hang on. Good grief. What on earth? Temperature must have suddenly soared. They did say it was going to be getting warmer, but wow. And perhaps it's because I've got a blanket over me. Maybe I need to make little things. You know, just saying. Perhaps that's not helping the situation. At least it's cotton. Not like a thick one, I guess. But wow. I have to keep my eye on the time. So yeah, that's the only thing I ever sold regarding crochet. I might have put a blanket on there that I'd made and sold them, but I can't actually remember. I wasn't really known for it, and you often see it on Facebook groups, don't you? How much should I sell this for? What's the rule of thumb on pricing and that sort of thing? People always comment on that. But you know what I've noticed, right? And I'm a member. I have my own crochet, or yeah, it's a crochet group on Facebook. I got fed up with all the stuffy rules of people's groups. You can't do this, you can't do that, don't promote yourself, don't, you know. So, oh, for God's sake, why are you such a little Hitler? So I made one where there weren't any rules, only like to be nice to each other. So it's called Crochet Worldwide if you want to seek it out. And yeah, but I'm a part of other groups. You know, I've been members of groups for ages. There's this one group, I don't think I've been a member that long. But the weirdest thing, right? If I do a tutorial, then suddenly whatever it is appears on this group, as if that person has thought of it, and it just keeps happening. And especially like with my year of granny squares, I'll do a square and then a little while later I look on that group and there it is. And it's just happened so many times, and not with just the squares either. And every time I put something up, it then appears on this group, and a couple of times other things that I've not thought of appeared on this group, and I thought, wonder whose that one is. And I know that there's a certain amount of things that we all do that you can't claim are your ideas unless you make it unique to you. Like my granny square, for instance, is the way I do it, you know. But essentially, granny square has been out there since before I was born, so nobody can really like claim they invented that. But it just seems as soon as I do something, this group has it on there, or somebody in that group posts it. I'm not going to name the group, but I keep seeing it, and it's got to the stage where I wait for it to happen now. Bizarre, really. It really is. Anyway, yeah, strange, don't you think? But the other day, I did see something that caught my eye. And this woman has made something that it's not what she's made, it's the way she's done it. And I, at the time, thought, that is genius. So I'm going to make myself something using that technique. But if I do it, I will credit her with that technique. But so many people, they just rip you off. Do you know what I mean? Or rip off someone. And they don't say, oh, this was inspired by whoever. Or, you know, I saw them do this and it made me think I want to do something like that. Or I'm going to make one of those and do a tutorial my way. They don't do it. They just take it. And it's become kind of acceptable. You know what I mean? It used to be unacceptable. But now it's become like, oh, everybody does it. And it's not right. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit oversensitive because this group seems to put up everything. I suppose it's flattering. It's not like they're, it's only on a Facebook group, but it's just weird. It is weird, I feel. This is so big. So big. So I don't know, it's not big enough, but we are now a big square. So I guess we're 2/3 through then, in a way, which isn't bad. Isn't bad at all. Quite good progress, really. But this is a small stitch, so it's small progress this time. But I wanted it kind of sampler-ish, but with sections rather than just one-liners, if you know what I mean. I just hope we ever get to use it, really. I'm sure we will. Me and Gary used to love a picnic. So what else have you been doing in your lives that maybe isn't crochet or craft related? Have you got holidays booked, or have you had company over and things like that? I have a grandson's birthday coming up, and I bought his present yesterday. I've been nagging my son, find out what he wants, find out what, because it's really kind of, we don't know what he has, because Mike and his mum split up, and so I find out, I will find out. So then yesterday sent me a picture of a robot dog. So I bought this robot dog, which I thought would be much more expensive than it was. It was quite reasonable. So I could get more besides, but I said, that's not enough really. I need ideas for your dad. So ask for more kind of ideas. At least I know I've got something that he wants. Yeah, bless. We need more babies in our family. Come to the conclusion that we do. They're all getting very big now, so we need some more babies. Do love babies. Babies are squishy. I'm a bit of a sucker for those, like when they're born and they're all floppy. Most people say I don't like them when they're this age. I prefer them when they're interesting and they at least do stuff and smile or play. But no, I love them when they're all floppy and they just flop into you and go sleep on you. I love them at all ages, really, but I do love them when they're floppy. We'll definitely need more babies. More reasons to crochet. That's what we need. More reasons to crochet. More reasons for tutorials. Anyway, I've done a lot of tutorials lately. More tutorials lately than for a long time. When I first started my channel 6 years ago, did a lot of tutorials, and things in my life, kind of the way my life was going, I don't know, just sort of didn't help. And then we had all that lockdown business and everything else. I don't know, I kind of got into a rut, but I'm kind of back to the way I used to work, even doing some live streaming, which I hadn't done for a long time. I don't know why I got out of the habit, but now I think it was last week I did 2, but I will do some more. And yeah, got to do lots of stuff. I'm so busy, it's unreal, but I wanted it that way. Can't complain. It's no good complaining. Reason being, I was never very career minded. Like, I didn't want a huge career, but whatever job I had would end up being huge because I was always bored, and in the end took on more and more and more and more, until in the end it was like, why am I doing this? And why do I make myself so busy? And then eventually I'd leave that job, get another one. Same scenario would happen over and over again. So I come to the conclusion I just didn't like being idle. I didn't like jobs as such. I I hated all the BS, all of the politics of a job, you know what I mean? All of the, I can't be doing with being a kiss backside and all that stuff. So yeah, I hated all that, and it wasn't really me. So yeah, I never got on because I only ever got on because of merit. I never got on because people like suck up to them or anything. I couldn't do that. And I just didn't. I don't know. Didn't really like work, but I work hard for something I love, and that's always the way. So look at that now. It's quite a big section. I didn't really want it to be that big, or bigger, should I say? But I haven't really been on for that long, and I do need another. I need that colour. I'm going to go and get it. I will be right back, guys. I'll be back and I can finish that off. I'm returning. Here it is. This is what I needed, because when I did this, put it over there a minute. I need scissors. Let's end that. I don't want it to be as big as the other section. Where's that yarn? There we are. Beautiful, this is. Absolutely gorgeous. Really loved it. So I was going to do alternate colours, but I didn't in the end. I used that, but because it's got a lot of white in it, where to put this? It's got a lot of white in it. I wanted that one of the colours in it to be dominant, so I did a whole row at the bottom in that colour. And you know what I haven't done? I haven't figured out if I'm ending on the right side. It doesn't matter, does it? I just, oh, funny enough, ended on the side I wanted. That was lucky. That was lucky, wasn't it? Okay, let's end this one. Now I've got to keep that over there a minute, because this is a logistical nightmare. Oh no, it's not. I've already... it was easier that time. Okay. The only thing I don't like doing with this stitch is hiding or taking my yarn, you know, burying the tail. So for once I'm going to leave this, and I will sew them in, because I have worked the last ones in, but it wasn't great. So I'll do a few, get me going, and then I'll show you what I mean, what I've done. Okay, so what I did was I wanted that colour to be solid, and then to do that. So at the end, again, it's going to be solid. So it's going to be like a frame for it. That's what I wanted, because this yarn has an awful lot of white in it, and it just looked patchy at the bottom. So as much as I hate frogging, I frogged it, and then I found a purple, a darker purple, that I could make that kind of base with, and it worked nice. So yeah, so I'm going to make this my last row of the purple section, and then once the postman has been, I do have some other videos to do, like if I come up with, say for argument's sake, that the squares that I've been working on, if I come up with them and then I put them aside and I don't go back to them, I don't go back to them. There we go. I like it. Yeah, I don't go back to them. It's just, for some reason, if I don't strike while the iron's hot, I like lose my notes, and you know, it's happened so many times. I made a really lovely poinsettia square If you've been with me for a long time, you'll know the one I mean, because I made a couple of shorts sort of announcing them and asking you which one was the nicest, the bigger one or the smaller one. Lost the notes. I can't remember what I did. And never did sit there and painstakingly figure that out. And never did that poinsettia square. That one didn't go in the right place. So yeah, if I don't sort of design it and do it, I design it and lose it quite often. Jeannie went balmy then. I went and did a spinneroonie. So guys, are you enjoying the summer? If you have one, there's been some awful weather situations, haven't there? I mean, there's been those terrible floods in Texas, and I know, you know, they say that the amount of global warming and everything, all these things are going to get so much worse. But Mother Nature is a scary thing when it unleashes its power. And we've had several little heat waves in this country, and we've got another one coming. And of course it had to be windy and rainy just a bit because it is Wimbledon fortnight. And they started off with absolutely scorching weather. So it had to happen that they had some cruddy weather because, you know, Wimbledon, we always have awful weather because that way the rest of the world can see just Britain's a horrible place to be. When most of the time it's not really that bad. But it does happen every Wimbledon. So we get another heat wave coming. And thankfully my aircon is fixed. So that's brilliant news. The last one, it just got fixed as it got hottest. Oh, and I have to phone someone soon as well. I mustn't forget. But I'll do that after postman. Maybe I should write lists. You have to do this today. I've been following this, the teachings of this doctor on kind of resetting your body after menopause. And some of the things that she talks about, I know work because I stumbled on them many years ago when people told me that what I was going to do diet-wise wouldn't work, and it did. So I know to be true a lot of the things she's saying. But when I they looked more into the science of it all, and it helps to build your cells and to start with your friendly gut bacteria and reduce the good, they reduce the bad ones and increase the good ones, and it helps rid your body of toxin. And I've got her books now, I've been reading them, that makes so much sense. So much sense. I'm still in the kind of learning it phase, but I will be implementing some of these changes in my life because I just feel like the things that are wrong with like bad sleep pattern, there's no reason for that. It's not like I have to get up at a certain time one day and not the next, you know. There's no reason for this. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and do it. And as I say, I know to be true a lot of what she says, because some time ago when I was doing low carbon and I got to really quite thin, I was losing 2 pounds a week. And I started doing fasting with it and I lost 4 pounds a week. But everyone said, oh, yeah, my diet groups won't work. You can't fast because you'll mess up your macros and all that stuff. And it worked a treat for me. It really did. I lost 4 pounds a week instead. So I'm liking this. Yeah, so it works, and I know it does. So I've got quite a lot of thick sections. Our next section's going to be a thin one. I really love this one. That's my favourite bit, that one there. Oh, hang on. It's that way around. That's my favourite bit. So it's even prettier now, guys. They've got it the right way round. It's even prettier. But that was a big old section. But that's what I like. I like doing some small ones and some wider ones. So I think the next one's going to be a little, maybe, hold on, look at that. Maybe the next one will be this colour. Or is it too much? Yeah, it's too much. So maybe it won't. I'll have to figure that one out, and I will get on with it very soon. Oh, hang on. Don't need to do that anymore. Hello, remember me? Oh, thanks for spending some time with me and seeing me through my crochet along. I have a swatch that I do for my tutorial, so I can get my swatch underway, get the tutorial made once Posty's been. I don't really like to do it until he's been, because I want to try and minimise the amount of interruptions I get while I'm filming. So, and I know he will interrupt me, so yeah, I'll do it after. But yeah, it was great. I really, it's sort of kills two birds with one stone, doesn't it? Doing and it kind of galvanizes me to do stuff as well. That's the one reason I like doing this. What was that stitch? That was a nice one. Oh, that was my rocky road. I made a blanket out of that. It was one of my first ever tutorials, and it was a stitch I invented called Rocky Road. I invented two stitches: the Crochet Rocks stitch, which is more in a going in around, and the Rocky Road. I haven't done any since. Oh, but one of my subscribers, Tracy Fletcher, has the Fletcher stitch, and I keep saying I will do it one of these days. So if you're watching, Tracy, you never know, I might do the Fletcher stitch at some point. Anyway, take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.